Ma'am, why do you drive this way? You look drunk. Your eyes are glassy and you're slurring.
No, please, I'm unwell. I was struggling to get my inhaler. Look at this bracelet. That's where I had an injection.
Everyone's got a medical excuse all the time, and you drive recklessly. Step out of the car. Now.
To Officer Ryan Kelton, this looked like a routine driving under the influence stop. Glassy or bloodshot eyes. Shaking hands. Glassy eyes. Unsteady movement. Delayed responses. But what he was seeing wasn't intoxication. It was an asthma attack. The sweet, chemical smell he thought was alcohol wasn't booze at all, it was medication, a warning sign of a medical emergency. One he didn't recognize. Or chose not to. Bernest Gleason did exactly what she was supposed to do. When her vision blurred, she pulled over. When the officer approached, she showed her medical bracelet. When she couldn't breathe, she asked for her inhaler. But none of that mattered, because the officer had already made up his mind. In this video, we break down the BodyCam footage the department didn't want seen, the moment medical distress was treated as defiance, and how a routine traffic stop turned into a disaster that reshaped police accountability forever. Before we continue, if stories like this matter to you, subscribe to the channel. And drop a comment, I want to hear your thoughts. Stay till the end to experience the moment that turns a routine encounter into regrettable consequences they could not imagine. The BodyCam shoulder mount shakes as Officer Ryan Kelton's boots hit pavement. His radio crackles, Unit 47, you still on scene. But he's already moving fast across the grocery store parking lot. The camera catches a black woman bent over her car door, one hand gripping the frame, the other clutching her throat. Her chest heaves in short, desperate gulps. Kelton's voice cuts through, "Ma'am, step away from the vehicle." She doesn't move. Can't move. Her knees buckle slightly and she wheezes, a high-pitched whistle that sounds like air forced through a straw. I said step away. Kelton's hand moves to his belt. The woman tries to speak but only manages broken syllables, "Can't breathe, please." Her other hand waves weakly toward the car's interior. Kelton closes the distance. Stop resisting and put your hands behind your back. The wheezing intensifies. A metallic jingle, handcuffs unclipped from his belt. The woman's eyes are wide, panicked, flooding with tears. She gasps one word, inhaler. Kelton grabs her left wrist. The BodyCam tilts as he yanks her arm backward. She stumbles, legs barely holding her weight. Stop resisting, he shouts again, louder now, though she isn't pulling away. She's collapsing. Her right arm comes back, fingers trembling violently. The metallic click of the first cuff. Then the second. Both wrists locked behind her back. She bends forward at the waist, trying to draw air, but the position makes it worse. Her breathing turns ragged, desperate, broken into fragments. Kelton's voice, "You're making this harder than it needs to be." From off camera, a male voice cuts in, "Hey. She's having an asthma attack." Kelton ignores it. The woman's mouth opens and closes like she's drowning on dry land. No words come out now, just raw, choking sounds. Her body shakes. Kelton's hand presses against her shoulder, keeping her upright against the car. "Stop faking," he says flatly. The wheezing crescendos, louder, sharper, more frantic. The woman's hand jerks upward despite the cuffs, fingers splayed open, shaking uncontrollably. Dangling from her keychain is a bright red medical alert tag, the size of a credit card, laminated and unmistakable. The BodyCam zooms slightly as Kelton's eyes track it. The tag reads in bold black letters, "Severe asthma, rescue inhaler required, call EMS if unresponsive." Kelton stares at it for 2 full seconds. The woman's voice cracks, "Please, glove box, inhaler." Her lips are losing color, turning grayish pale. Kelton's jaw tightens. He looks directly at her, then at the tag again. His response is cold, deliberate, "I don't care if you're sick." He shoves the tag aside and grabs her upper arm, pulling her away from the car. The wheezing stutters, weaker now. From the sidewalk, a woman's voice, "Oh my God, she's turning blue." A phone appears in the frame's periphery, screen glowing, camera aimed at the scene. The witness is recording. Everything is being captured. Should an officer ever ignore a medical alert like this? Yes or no? Kelton keys his radio with his free hand while gripping the woman's arm with the other. His voice is steady, controlled, official, dispatch, Unit 47. I have one female in custody, mid-20s to 30s, who appears possibly intoxicated or disorderly. Refusing commands. Transporting to booking. The radio squawks back, copy, 47. But the BodyCam audio tells a different story. Beneath Kelton's voice, clear as daylight, the woman's broken pleas, can't, breathe, need, help. Her words dissolve into wet, choking gasps. Kelton angles her toward his cruiser parked 15 feet away. She stumbles, her legs giving out. He catches her weight, annoyed. Come on, work with me here. Her head lolls forward. The medical tag swings from her keychain, still clipped to her belt loop, flashing red in the afternoon sun. A middle-aged man steps closer from the grocery entrance. Officer, she needs medical help. Kelton shoots him a warning glance. Sir, step back. The woman's knees buckle completely. Kelton holds her up by the cuffs. 3 more shoppers stop near the sidewalk, phones out, screens glowing. One woman narrates into her camera, he just ignored her medical bracelet, she's clearly in distress. Another angle captures Kelton dragging the woman toward the cruiser as her body goes slack. Her wheezing is wet now, gurgling, like liquid in her lungs. The backup unit Kelton called earlier rolls into the lot, lights off. Officer Jamal Foster steps out, younger, less certain. He takes in the scene, cuffed woman barely standing, crowd filming, Kelton's rigid posture. Foster approaches slowly. Hey, Ryan, what's the situation? Kelton doesn't look at him. DUI stop. She's been combative. Foster's eyes drop to the woman. Her chest jerks in shallow, rapid spasms. Her lips are pale, almost gray. Foster hesitates. She doesn't look drunk, man. She looks sick. Kelton's voice hardens. I've got it under control. The woman's head tilts back, eyes rolling upward. Foster's hand hovers near his radio. He doesn't press it. Kelton opens the cruiser's rear door. The hinges creak. He guides, or rather, pushes, the woman into the back seat. She doesn't resist because she can't. Her body folds inward, chest heaving in rapid, shallow jerks. Kelton slams the door. The sound echoes across the parking lot. Through the rear window, the BodyCam catches her slumping sideways, shoulder pressed against the door panel, head tilting forward. Her mouth is open, gasping, but the wheezing is quieter now. Not because it's better, because she's running out of air. Kelton walks to the driver's side, ignoring Foster, ignoring the crowd, ignoring the phones. He climbs in, adjusts the rearview mirror, and glances back at her. She's motionless except for the faint rise and fall of her shoulders. She's fine, he mutters to himself. Just calming down. He shifts into drive. The engine hums. The cruiser pulls out of the lot, turning onto the main road. In the back seat, the woman's eyes flutter closed. The wheezing fades into silence. The cruiser's dash cam runs continuously, capturing the road ahead and the audio from inside. Kelton's breathing is steady. The radio murmurs with dispatch chatter, other units, other calls, routine traffic. But from the back seat, nothing. No wheezing. No gasping. No movement. Kelton glances in the rearview mirror. The woman is slumped against the door, head tilted at an unnatural angle, mouth slack. Her chest barely moves. Kelton frowns slightly, then shrugs. Probably passed out, he says aloud, to no one. Drunks do that. He adjusts the mirror back to the road. The silence stretches. Outside, traffic lights turn green, then red, then green again. The cruiser rolls through intersections, making turns, following the familiar route to the station. In the back, the woman's skin tone has shifted, grayish-blue around her lips, pale across her cheeks. Her fingers, still cuffed, twitch once. Then stop. Kelton hums along to the faint static of the radio. She's just calming down, he mutters again, convincing himself. The cruiser pulls into the station's rear lot, tires crunching gravel. Kelton parks near the booking entrance, kills the engine. He sits for a moment, checking his phone, scrolling. Then he steps out, walks to the rear door, and opens it. The woman doesn't move. Kelton leans in. All right, let's go. He grabs her upper arm and pulls. She slides out like dead weight, legs buckling the moment her feet touch pavement. Kelton catches her, frustrated. Come on, stand up. He half drags, half carries her through the metal door into the booking area. Fluorescent lights buzz overhead, harsh and clinical. The booking sergeant, a heavy-set man named Sergeant William Brennan, looks up from his desk. His eyes narrow immediately. The woman is limp, head lolling forward, cuffed hands dangling behind her back. Brennan stands. Kelton, what the hell? Kelton adjusts his grip. DUI. She's been uncooperative. Brennan steps closer, studying her face. Her lips are blue-tinged. Her eyes are half open, unfocused, staring at nothing. Brennan's expression shifts. She doesn't look drunk. Brennan waves over the on-duty medical responder, a paramedic named Officer Layla Grant who contracts with the department for booking health checks. Grant moves fast, dropping to one knee beside the woman. She presses 2 fingers against the woman's neck, checking for a pulse. Find it, rapid, thready, weak. Grant tilts the woman's head back, checking her airway. Listens to her breathing. It's shallow, labored, barely there. Grant's face hardens. Where's her inhaler? Kelton blinks. What? Her inhaler, Grant repeats, louder now, urgent. She's not intoxicated. She's in respiratory distress. Where is her medication? Kelton's mouth opens, then closes. He has no answer. Grant doesn't wait. She unzips her medical kit, pulls out a portable oxygen mask, and fits it over the woman's face. The hiss of oxygen fills the room. Grant checks the woman's chest, barely rising, barely falling. She looks up at Brennan. Call EMS. Now. Brennan grabs his radio. Dispatch, we need an ambulance at the station, priority 1. Respiratory emergency. Grant turns to Kelton, voice sharp. What happened? Kelton stammers. She was acting erratic, slurring her words, stumbling. Grant cuts him off. Did she tell you she couldn't breathe? Kelton hesitates. She said something, but, did she show you a medical alert? Silence. Grant's eyes drop to the woman's waist. The red medical tag is still clipped to her keychain, dangling from her belt loop. Grant reads it aloud, slowly, deliberately, severe asthma. Rescue inhaler required. Call EMS if unresponsive. She looks up at Kelton. You saw this. It's not a question. Kelton's face flushes. I thought she was faking. Grant's voice is ice. This is status asthmaticus. She's minutes from respiratory arrest. She adjusts the oxygen flow, then checks the woman's pulse again, still weak, still too fast. Grant's hands move quickly, efficiently, checking vitals, preparing for EMS handoff. The woman's chest rises slightly under the oxygen, but it's not enough. Grant mutters under her breath, she needed a nebulizer 10 minutes ago. Brennan stands over Kelton now, arms crossed. You transported her like this? Kelton doesn't answer. He can't. Brennan walks to his desk and pulls up the dispatch log on his computer. He clicks through the audio files, finds Kelton's radio call from the parking lot. He hits play. The speakers crackle. Kelton's voice, dispatch, Unit 47. I have one female in custody, mid-20s to 30s, who appears possibly intoxicated or disorderly. Refusing commands. Then, beneath his voice, clear and unmistakable, the woman's broken pleas. Can't breathe, need help. Brennan replays it. Twice. He looks at Kelton. You reported her as intoxicated. The audio proves she told you she couldn't breathe. Kelton's mouth opens. I thought she was, you thought wrong. Brennan's voice is flat, controlled, but the anger is there, simmering. You ignored a medical emergency, misreported the situation, and delayed care. Grant looks up from the woman. If EMS doesn't get here in the next 5 minutes, she's going to need intubation. The words hang in the air. Kelton's face goes pale. Brennan picks up the desk phone and dials. "I'm calling internal affairs." The station's rear doors burst open. 2 paramedics rush in with a gurney, medical bags swinging. Grant waves them over. Status asthmaticus, severe respiratory distress, oxygen at 6 liters, pulse 120 and thready. The paramedics take over immediately. One uncuffs the woman, her wrists are red, indented from the metal. The other checks her vitals, listens to her lungs with a stethoscope. Bilateral wheezing, minimal air movement. "We need to move now." They lift her onto the gurney. The oxygen mask stays on. One paramedic starts an 4-line in her arm while the other preps a nebulizer with albuterol. The gurney wheels screech as they turn toward the door. Grant follows them out, still barking instructions. Brennan watches the doors swing shut, then turns to Kelton. "You stay right here. Do not move. Do not touch your body cam. Do not call anyone." Kelton nods weakly. His hands are shaking. Brennan walks to the corner of the booking room where the BodyCam download station sits. He powers on the terminal, slots Kelton's camera, and begins the download. Every second, every frame, is preserved. Kelton stands frozen near the booking desk, hands at his sides. His mind races, replaying the parking lot, the woman's gasping, the tag, his decision. Brennan finishes the download and locks the terminal. He turns to Kelton. "Your camera is now evidence. Do not attempt to access it. Do not attempt to alter your report. Internal Affairs is en route." Kelton's voice cracks. "Sarge, I didn't know, you were shown a medical alert. You ignored it. You misreported the situation. That's not a mistake. That's negligence." Brennan's phone buzzes. He glances at the screen, then back at Kelton. "Sit down. Don't move." Kelton sinks into a chair, head in his hands. The fluorescent lights buzz. The clock on the wall ticks. Minutes stretch. Then the door opens. A woman in plain clothes enters, Detective Nina Torres, Internal Affairs. She's carrying a tablet and a folder. She doesn't greet Kelton. She walks straight to Brennan. They speak in low voices near the desk. Torres nods, takes notes, glances at Kelton once. Then she approaches him. "Officer Kelton. You're being placed on administrative leave pending investigation. Badges and weapons. Now." 6 hours later, the bystander video hits social media. The woman who filmed from the sidewalk posted it to Twitter with a timestamp and a caption, "Officer ignores medical alert, arrests woman in asthma attack. She could have died. #accountability." The video is 47 seconds long. It shows Kelton grabbing the woman, the red medical tag swinging into view, the woman gasping, Kelton's voice cutting through, "I don't care if you're sick." The clip ends with the cruiser door slamming. Within 2 hours, it has 50,000 views. Within 4, 200,000. By midnight, it's trending locally. By morning, it's national news. Local station WCMH runs a segment, "Officer under investigation after viral video shows asthma attack ignored." The Chiron reads, "Woman hospitalized after arrest." The clip plays on loop. News anchors shake their heads. Civil rights attorneys offer commentary. The police department's phone lines flood. The PIO scrambles to draft a statement. On Twitter, the replies are unanimous, "He looked right at it and said he didn't care." This is exactly why people don't trust the police. She could have died. At Grant Medical Center, Nia Carter lies in a hospital bed, oxygen cannula in her nose, 4 in her arm. Her breathing is steady now, regulated by medication, but she's weak. A doctor reviews her chart, then speaks to her family in the hallway. She experienced a severe asthma exacerbation, status asthmaticus. Without intervention, her airway would have closed completely. She would have lost consciousness, then stopped breathing. Nia's mother, a woman in her 50s, covers her mouth. How long did she have? The doctor pauses. If EMS had been delayed another 10 minutes. He doesn't finish the sentence. He doesn't need to. Inside the room, Nia stares at the ceiling. She remembers fragments, the parking lot, the gasping, the cuffs, the back seat, the darkness closing in. She remembers thinking, I'm going to die like this. A nurse enters, checks her vitals, adjusts the 4. You're stable now, she says gently. You're safe. Nia nods, but the fear is still there, lodged deep in her chest. She survived. Barely. And only because a medic recognized what Kelton refused to see. At police headquarters, the command staff gathers in a briefing room. Chief Angela Hartman sits at the head of the table. Beside her, Deputy Chief Lawson, Captain Ruiz, and Detective Torres. On the screen at the front of the room, the BodyCam footage. It plays from the beginning, Kelton approaching the car, the woman gasping, the medical tag in clear view, Kelton's voice, I don't care if you're sick. The room is silent. Lawson rewinds it. The tag appears again, bright red, unmistakable. The audio plays, can't, breathe, need, help. Then Kelton's radio call, possibly intoxicated or disorderly. Refusing commands. The contradiction is undeniable. Chief Hartman rubs her temples. How long was she in the back seat before he got to the station? Torres checks her notes. 14 minutes. Unconscious for at least 10 of them. Hartman's jaw tightens. And he did nothing. Correct. Hartman looks at Lawson. What's the legal exposure? Lawson exhales. Civil rights violation. Negligence. Deliberate indifference to a medical emergency. The city's liability is significant. Hartman nods slowly. Terminate him. Immediately. 2 days after the incident, Officer Ryan Kelton is called into a formal disciplinary hearing. He sits across from Chief Hartman, Deputy Chief Lawson, and a union representative. The BodyCam footage is played in full. Kelton watches himself ignore the medical tag, misreport the situation, and transport an unconscious woman without calling EMS. When the video ends, Hartman speaks. Officer Kelton, you demonstrated gross negligence, violated department policy, and endangered a citizen's life. Your actions were indefensible. Kelton's voice is hoarse. I made a judgment call, you made the wrong call, Hartman interrupts. And you made it repeatedly. You were shown medical documentation. You heard her pleas. You chose to ignore both. She slides a document across the table. Your employment with the Columbus Police Department is terminated, effective immediately. You are required to surrender your badge, weapon, and credentials. Kelton stares at the paper. His hands shake as he unpins his badge and places it on the table. The metallic clink echoes. Lawson adds, we're also recommending your peace officer certification be revoked. Kelton says nothing. There's nothing left to say. He stands, turns, and walks out. The door closes behind him. Nia Carter sits in her hospital room with her attorney, a sharp woman named Patricia Coleman who specializes in civil rights cases. Coleman reviews the timeline on her tablet. The BodyCam footage is damning. He saw the medical alert. He heard you ask for your inhaler. He reported you as intoxicated when you were in respiratory distress. That's textbook negligence. Nia's voice is quiet, still raspy from the attack. I thought I was going to die in that car. Coleman looks up. I believe you. And a jury will too. She sets the tablet down. We're filing a federal civil rights lawsuit under Section 1983. We'll also pursue claims for negligence, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and violation of the Americans with Disabilities Act. Nia nods slowly. I don't want this to happen to anyone else. It won't, Coleman says firmly. Not if we hold them accountable. A nurse knocks and enters with discharge papers. Nia is being released today, physically stable, emotionally shattered. As she signs the forms, a local news crew waits in the hospital lobby, hoping for a statement. Nia declines. She just wants to go home. The internal affairs investigation concludes 3 weeks later. Detective Torres submits a 42-page report. The findings are unambiguous. Officer Kelton observed a medical alert tag indicating severe asthma. Officer Kelton heard the subject repeatedly state she could not breathe. Officer Kelton mischaracterized the subject's condition as intoxication despite clear evidence to the contrary. Officer Kelton failed to request EMS despite obvious medical distress. Officer Kelton transported an unconscious individual without medical evaluation, placing her life at risk. The report includes still frames from the body cam, the red medical tag, Nia's pale face, the moment Kelton looked directly at the evidence and dismissed it. Torres' conclusion: Officer Kelton's actions constituted deliberate indifference to a serious medical emergency and violated established department protocols for handling medical distress during arrest situations. She recommends permanent separation from the department and referral to the State Certification Board. Chief Hartman signs off on both recommendations. The decision is forwarded to the Ohio Peace Officer Training Commission. Kelton's certification hearing is scheduled for 6 weeks out. The outcome is all but certain. At the certification hearing, a panel of 3 reviewers sits across from Kelton and his attorney. The bodycam footage plays on a large monitor. The panel watches in silence. When it ends, the lead reviewer speaks. Officer Kelton, your actions fell so far below the accepted standard of care that this board has no choice but to recommend permanent revocation of your peace officer certification. Kelton's attorney tries to argue mitigating factors: stress, inexperience, lack of medical training. The panel is unmoved. The second reviewer leans forward. He was shown a medical alert. He said, and I quote, "I don't care if you're sick." That statement alone disqualifies him from ever holding this certification again. The vote is unanimous. Kelton's certification is revoked, effective immediately. He is barred from working in law enforcement anywhere in Ohio. The decision is entered into the National Decertification Database, ensuring no other state will hire him. Kelton leaves the hearing in silence. His career, 9 months long, is over. His reputation is destroyed. His name is permanently linked to negligence, viral footage, and a woman who nearly died because he refused to look. 4 months after the incident, Patricia Coleman filed a federal lawsuit in the Southern District of Ohio. The complaint names Officer Ryan Kelton and the City of Columbus as defendants. The allegations are detailed, methodical, and damning: deprivation of rights under color of law, deliberate indifference to serious medical needs, negligence, violation of the Americans with Disabilities Act, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. The complaint includes the bodycam footage as Exhibit A, the dispatch audio as Exhibit B, and medical records from Grant Medical Center as Exhibit C. Nia Carter's testimony is powerful and simple: I did everything I was supposed to do. I pulled over. I stayed in my car. I showed him my medical alert. I begged for help. And he arrested me anyway. The city's attorneys review the evidence and know immediately, this case cannot go to trial. The footage is too clear. The negligence is too obvious. Public sentiment is too strong. They schedule a settlement conference. Coleman demands $850,000. The city offers $500,000. After 2 weeks of negotiation, they settled at $675,000. The settlement includes no admission of liability, but everyone knows what it means. The city pays. Kelton's name is attached to the case forever. The settlement announcement coincides with a departmental policy overhaul. Chief Hartman holds a press conference at City Hall. She stands at a podium, flanked by the mayor and the city attorney. The incident involving Ms. Carter was unacceptable, Hartman begins. It exposed critical gaps in our training and protocols. We failed her. We take full responsibility. She outlines the changes: mandatory medical distress recognition training for all officers, starting immediately. Training modules will cover asthma, diabetes, seizures, and other conditions that can mimic intoxication. Officers will be required to check for medical alert jewelry during every arrest. Dispatch protocols will flag medical keywords: can't breathe, inhaler, insulin, and trigger automatic EMS notification. Body cameras will now auto-flag certain phrases for supervisory review. A civilian medical advisor will be embedded in the training academy. The reforms are comprehensive, expensive, and necessary. Hartman concludes, we cannot undo what happened to Ms. Carter. But we can ensure it never happens again. The press conference ends. The cameras cut. The reforms are implemented within 60 days. Whether they work remains to be seen. But at least they exist. Ryan Kelton sits in a one-bedroom apartment in a suburb outside Columbus. His certification is gone. His career is over. His name is infamous. He tried applying for private security jobs, denied. He tried applying for retail work, denied once the background check came back. He tried moving to another state, but the National Decertification Database follows him everywhere. He watches the BodyCam footage sometimes, late at night, trying to understand where it all went wrong. He sees himself ignoring the medical tag. He hears himself say, "I don't care if you're sick." He watches Nia collapse, watches himself drag her to the cruiser, watches the silence in the back seat. And he realizes, there was no single moment. It was every moment. Every decision. Every time he chose his narrative over the evidence in front of him. The footage is permanent. The consequences are permanent. He destroyed his own career in 47 seconds. And he did it on camera. His phone buzzes, a lawyer calling about the lawsuit. Kelton doesn't answer. There's nothing left to say. The case is settled. The career is finished. The lesson is learned, far too late. In a training room at the Columbus Police Academy, 30 new recruits watch the BodyCam footage. An instructor pauses it at key moments, the medical tag, the gasping, the arrest, the silence in the back seat. This, the instructor says, is what happens when you choose ego over evidence. He plays the audio, Kelton's report versus Nia's pleas. The contradiction is stark. Medical distress is not resistance. Gasping for air is not defiance. A medical alert is not an excuse, it's a warning. And if you ignore it, you're not just failing as an officer. You're endangering a life. The recruits take notes. They ask questions. They watch the footage again. One recruit raises her hand. What should he have done? The instructor's answer is simple, called EMS the moment he saw the medical tag. Uncuffed her. Retrieved her inhaler. Treated it as a medical emergency, not a criminal matter. That's it. That's the job. The lesson is clear. The recruits understand. Whether they'll remember it in the moment, under pressure, when adrenaline takes over, that remains to be seen. But at least now, they know the cost of getting it wrong. Nia Carter stands in her living room, holding the red medical alert tag that started everything. She clips it back onto her keychain, the same way she's done every day for years. She survived. Others might not be so lucky. The BodyCam footage is still online, still viewed thousands of times a week. It's become a case study, a teaching tool, a warning. Nia doesn't watch it anymore. She doesn't need to. She lived it. The settlement money is in her account. The reforms are in place. Kelton's career is over. Justice, in some form, was served. But the fear remains. The memory of gasping in that back seat, feeling the darkness close in, knowing she was dying and no one cared. That doesn't go away with a settlement or a policy change. It stays, lodged deep, a scar that never fully heals. She survived because a medic arrived in time. Because someone finally looked, finally listened, finally acted. The BodyCam freeze frames on the red medical tag, the evidence that was always there, waiting to be seen. What's your biggest takeaway from this story?